Phillip Gallagher from Swamp Witch. You're listening to the Pod of Eternal Stench, aka The Devil You Know.
Episode 84, guys.
84.
Yes. George Orwell.
1984.
That's
when
right.
when we get to episode 1984, it'll be off the hook. We'll be dead probably, but
We'll be dead. But people will have already recorded our voices enough to where they can put syllables together and sounds together and make us say shit that we really didn't fucking say.
maybe they'll put our recording on a satellite off into space so other civilizations can hear it.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
I'm sure that's what they're planning right now when they listen to us.
That's what we're
I know
planning.
what I'm doing with this shit. It's going to space.
We're going to be the introduction of Earthlings to non-Earthlings.
Earthlings.
I'm tired. I'm hungry. What are you guys doing, man? I want to hear about Tennessee because you went there last week, and we kind of had almost a whole week break from TYK.
did, yeah.
So, what happened over
It
there?
was actually it was pretty cool.
Did you get laid?
You know, no, I didn't actually.
You're like,
My
dude, I
wife
went to go
passed
see my
away.
family, you asshole.
Well, my wife was there. We had our own little getaway, but
Nice.
no, it was pretty cool actually. I got some hillbilly relatives who got some wooded land and a whole bunch of guns. So we got
Nice.
to go out and shoot all kinds of shit, and then lots of food, and got to spend. It's actually a really good time. So I mean, I can't complain. I was kind of surprised that only one person even noticed the little sigil of Baphomet tattoo on my arm. Either that or they just didn't. Nobody wanted confrontation over the weekend, so it wasn't too much religious conflict.
So he didn't say anything?
Well, it was one of my cousins. He just kind of said, "Oh, what do you got there?" I was like, "Oh, just some." I didn't want to stir up shop. So, just a little tattoo. Didn't even really. And he goes, "Oh, wow, that's pretty wild."
It doesn't really mean anything. I put it on my skin forever, but it doesn't mean anything.
Well, it was just kind of one of those things. Like there was a bunch of us around a table, so I was trying to not draw a conversation to it. So I was just kind of like passing it off as it's not much different than all the other tattoos on me, So
Yeah.
it was a good week. It was actually pretty fun. Can't complain. It's good to be back out in the woods again. It's been a while.
Cute. How was the drive, man? How long did it take to get there?
Well, it's probably about 13 hours. We rented a car, and I got to listen to, it had satellite radio, so it was 13 hours of Hair Nation and shit like
Nice.
that.
I want to rock. Yeah, man.
That was good. I had all my girls with me, my daughters, and yeah, it was fun.
Sweet, man. Adam, what'd you do?
We had 4th of July.
You go
guys
ahead.
do
Keep
stuff
going.
You guys, I'm asking if you guys did you guys do any 4th of July stuff?
We went to go see fireworks. Put it out on Facebook because, that's what you do nowadays for the kids. But it was cool. Just enjoying cold brewskis and kind of shit like that. Food, of course.
What about you, Adam?
I blew some shit up in front of the house, made the neighbors come out, drank some beer for 4th of July. I don't know, just been working on some art projects, and
So it was like an average day. You just
Yeah.
blew shit up and worked on art projects.
worked on my car a little bit too. Had a good time.
Nice.
We don't get enough of those kind of days,
I know. Peaceful.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dudes. Well, welcome back, everybody. I'm glad you got back home safe, Adam.
Yeah, good to be back in the studio. In our luxurious studio here.
Yeah, you didn't even say anything about the new sofa.
Well, there was some stains on it that kind of scared me, so
That might be my fault. I'm sorry.
Look, there was no stains when I was.
he likes
sitting on it.
vagina.
Yeah.
Vagina?
Nice. Let's start the show.
All right.
life after death through fulfillment of the ego. Man is aware that he will die someday. Other animals, when nearing death, know they are about to die. But it is not until death is certain that the animal senses his coming departure from this world. And even then, he does not know exactly what is entailed in dying. It is often pointed out that animals accept death gracefully, without fear or resistance. This is a beautiful concept, but one that only holds true in cases where death for the animal is unavoidable. When an animal is sick or injured, he will fight for his life with every ounce of strength he has left. It is this unshakable will to live that, if man were not so highly evolved, would also give him the fighting spirit he needs to stay alive. It is a well-known fact that many people die simply because they give up and just don't care anymore. This is understandable if the person is very ill with no apparent chance for recovery. But this often is not the case. Man has become lazy. He has learned to take the easy way out. Even suicide has become less repugnant to many people than any number of other sins. Religion is totally to blame for this. Death in most religions is touted as a great spiritual awakening, one which is prepared for throughout life. This concept is very appealing to one who has not had a satisfactory life, but to those who have experienced all the joys life has to offer, there is great dread attached to dying. This as it should be. It is this lust for life which will allow the vital person to live on after the inevitable death of his fleshly shell. History shows that men who have given their own lives in pursuit of an ideal have been deified for their martyrdom. Religious and political leaders have been very crafty in laying their plans. By holding the martyr up as a shining example to his fellow men, they eliminate the common sense reaction that willful self-destruction goes against all animal logic. To the Satanist, martyrdom and non-personalized heroism is to be associated not with integrity, but with stupidity. This, of course, does not apply in situations which involve the safety of a loved one, but to give one's own life for something as impersonal as a political or religious issue is the ultimate in masochism. Life is the one great indulgence, death the one great abstinence. To a person who is satisfied with his earthly existence, life is like a party, and no one likes to leave a good party. By the same token, if a person is enjoying himself here on earth, he will not so readily give up this life for the promise of an afterlife about which he knows nothing. The Eastern mystical beliefs teach humans to discipline themselves against any conscious will for success so they might dissolve themselves into a universal cosmic awareness, anything to avoid good, healthy self-satisfaction or honest pride in earthly accomplishments. It is interesting to note that the areas in which this type of belief flourishes are those where material gains are not easily obtainable. For this reason, the predominant religious belief must be one which commends its followers for their rejection of material things and their avoidance of the use of labels which attaches a certain amount of importance to material gains. In this way, the people can be pacified into accepting their lot, no matter how small it may be. Satanism uses many labels. If it were not for names, very few of us would understand anything in life, much less attach any significance to it. And significance compels recognition, which is something everyone wants, especially the Eastern mystic who tries to prove to everyone how he can meditate longer or stand more deprivation and pain than the next fellow. The Eastern philosophies preach the dissolution of man's ego before he can produce sins. It is unfathomable to the Satanist to conceive of an ego which would willfully choose denial of itself. In countries where this is used as a sop for the willingly impoverished, it is understandable that a philosophy which teaches the denial of the ego would serve a useful purpose, at least for those in power, to whom it would be detrimental if their people were discontented. But for anyone who has every opportunity for material gain, to choose this form of religious thought seems foolish indeed. The Eastern mystic believes strongly in reincarnation. To a person who has virtually nothing in this life, the possibility that he may have been a king in a past life or may be one in the next life is very attractive and does much to appease his need for self-respect. If there is nothing in which they can take pride in this life, they can console themselves by thinking there are always future lives. It never occurs to the believer in reincarnation that if his father, grandfather, and great-grandfather, etc. had developed good karmas by their adherence to the same beliefs and ethics as his present one, then why is he now living in privation rather than like a Maharaja? Belief in reincarnation provides a beautiful fantasy world in which a person can find the proper avenue of ego expression, but at the same time claim to have dissolved his ego. This is emphasized by the roles people choose for themselves in their past or future lives. Believers in reincarnation do not always choose an honorable character. If the person is of a highly respectable and conservative nature, he will often choose a colorful rogue or gangster, thereby fulfilling his alter ego. Or a woman who has much social status may pick a harlot or famous courtesan for the characterization of herself in a past life. If people were able to divorce themselves from the stigma attached to personal ego fulfillment, they would not need to play self-deceitful games such as belief in reincarnation as a means of satisfying their natural need for ego fulfillment. The Satanist believes in complete gratification of his ego. Satanism, in fact, is the only religion which advocates the intensification or encouragement of the ego. Only if a person's own ego is sufficiently fulfilled can he afford to be kind and complimentary to others without robbing himself of his self-respect. We generally think of a braggart as a person with a large ego. In reality, his bragging results from a need to satisfy his impoverished ego. Religionists have kept their followers in line by suppressing their egos, by making their followers feel inferior, the awesomeness of their God is ensured. Satanism encourages its members to develop a good, strong ego because it gives them the self-respect necessary for a vital existence in this life. If a person has been vital throughout his life and has fought to the end for his earthly existence, it is this ego which will refuse to die, even after the expiration of the flesh which housed it. Young children are to be admired for their driving enthusiasm for life. This is exemplified by the small child who refuses to go to bed when there is something exciting going on, and when once put to bed, will sneak down the stairs to peek through the curtains and watch. It is this childlike vitality that will allow the Satanist to peek through the curtain of darkness and death and remain earthbound. Self-sacrifice is not encouraged by the Satanic religion. Therefore, unless death comes as an indulgence because of extreme circumstances which make the termination of life a welcome relief from an unendurable earthly existence, suicide is frowned upon by the Satanic religion. Religious martyrs have taken their own lives, not because life was intolerable for them, but to use their supreme sacrifice as a tool to further the religious belief. We must assume, then, that suicide, if done for the sake of the Church, is condoned and even encouraged, even though the scriptures label it a sin, because religious martyrs of the past have always been deified. It is rather curious that the only time suicide is considered sinful by other religions is when it comes as an indulgence.
All right, episode 84. John, I know that you're used to dealing with swamp ass, but what about swamp witch?
I've never heard of Swamp Witch until this week. Adam, who do we have?
Well, this week we have musician and citizen of the Infernal Empire, Phillip Gallagher. And he plays a multitude of instruments, very talented. He's in a band called Grave Coven, Swamp Witch, Wandering, and Bog Oak. So without further ado, Phillip Gallagher.
Nice.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Hello. How you doing? Good. How you doing?
It's fucking hot as hell over here.
Yeah, where are you?
I think it's hot as hell everywhere, pretty much right now.
Yeah. I'm in Carmichael right now, Carmichael, California.
All right. I'm checking out your picture on Skype, man. You look like a pretty cool, laid-back dude.
I'm very laid back.
And it looks like you modeled your beard after Dorian. That's beautiful.
Is your mind on your money and your money on your mind?
I guess so.
Laid back. All right. Well, that was a old joke, I guess.
Only we got it. Yeah.
I got it.
All right.
So you're a busy guy. You're in all kinds of music projects going on.
Yeah, the way Adam said it, it sounded like your band had 4 names, or you're in 4 bands.
Yeah, I'm in 4 bands.
There you go.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So right now, the main focus for me has been Swamp Witch. We're getting ready to record, not this weekend, but the following weekend at Earth Tones Studios in Sacramento.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we heard some. What did we hear? I heard like 2 or 3 tracks, man. One from Bog Oak and the Swamp Witch one that we'll play in a little bit here. What category of music is that?
Well, Swamp Witch, I would say, is just psychedelic doom. And in fact, the recording that you heard, I don't actually play on that recording. I joined the band after they already had 2 albums out.
Mm-hmm.
So this was my first time recording with them, but the song that you guys have is called Slither Into the Circle, and I was a huge fan of this band before I even joined them, and I love that song.
Nice.
Nice.
I would just psychedelic doom metal, psychedelic sludge.
What are you playing in that band?
Well, initially I joined that band as the drummer. I was looking for to play drums in a band, and I was friends with those guys, and so they hit me up, drum for Swamp Witch. So, and I definitely jumped at the opportunity, and then the guitar player left, so they needed another guitar player. So for whatever reason, it was easier to find a drummer at the time, and then I just switched to guitar. So now I play guitar in Swamp Witch.
Wow. I just found their album, The Slithering Bog, on Spotify here, so
Yeah.
definitely be checking that out.
Nice. Yeah, it's a great fucking record. Like I said, I'm not on that album, but I was a huge fan of it before I joined.
So we'll know where your influence is coming from then. Here.
Yeah.
Right on, man.
So like the names Bog and Swamp and Slithering. I mean, you guys, have you ever heard the Eternal Bog of Stench?
Yeah.
Bog of Eternal Stench.
That's what I said.
Yeah, from Labyrinth. Yeah, I want.
Nice.
So did you ever start a band called the Goblin King?
No, but I thought Goblin was a killer band name, and Goblin is one of my favorite bands. So, you know.
There you go. It's all connected, see?
It is.
Speaking of connections, you said psychedelic doom metal. How many metals are out there? Because like they're subcategorizing and subcategorizing and subcategorizing.
Yeah, I don't even know. I have no idea. There's too many. But that's what we describe ourselves as. So.
How come you, in your opinion, this is probably off base a little bit, but if it is, too bad. You know, like, like the guy, because you're like what, 37, right?
Yeah.
All right, so it's probably not off base with you. This is more geared toward the youngins. Why do they feel the need to keep breaking things down and making things more complex and subcategorizing things? Because back when we were growing up, Dorian could probably attest to this fact that we called it metal, and when we said, "Hey, what kind of music you play?" We play metal, dude. They knew what you meant. It was metal, dude. And now there's like psychedelic doom metal and bog metal.
Although, I mean, there was some. I mean, we did have hair, and we had thrash and speed and power. So, I mean, there was some, but it's just gotten out of. I mean, I get it to an extent because it helps you kind of get a like. I guess I would put you guys maybe in the same category as a band like Yob. Would that be accurate?
You know, I have a hard time comparing to Yob because they're fucking so amazing, but I mean, Yob would be considered.
I mean, it's a style of music you're playing, though, right?
I would say so. I mean, definitely to a certain degree, yeah. Like
so, like when you say stuff like psychedelic doom or what, you know, I mean, I kind of get it because it's kind of helping you. It's kind of painting a picture to the person, but it does seem like there's so many categories. It's kind of hard to keep up with. Especially some of them that change, like when people say, well, we're hardcore. I'm like, bullshit. I heard hardcore in the early 80s coming out of New York, and you're not hardcore, you know. But so
yeah, ultimately, I don't know. I don't really worry about it too much. Like, you know, I guess I don't deal with it. Like, doom metal to me is just slower, you know, heavy rock that kind of, you know, is reminiscent of a lot of 70s heavy metal.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say we play this track because everybody's salivating at this point.
Nice. Yeah.
Some metal.
All right. So what is this again? This is called Slithering in a Circle? In the Circle?
No, this song is called Slither into the Circle.
That's what I said.
From the Slithering Bog.
Is that the theme tonight, John? You're
That's
gonna
right.
fuck up everything, and then we gotta correct you.
I don't know what you're talking about. All right. Let's play it. Here it is, everybody. Nice.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
Stuff, very organic. I like it.
Yeah, it's humble yet continental. It almost sounds like if Black Sabbath worshipped Satan. It was pretty cool. Whatever that means.
No, actually, I think those resonating notes too really do actually remind me of like old Black Sabbath, like just when they'd ring out something really dark that But it's so much more powerful now. Just the guitar tones are just insane.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Speak up.
They recorded that at Earhammer Studios in Oakland with Greg Wilkinson.
Nice. If I had to categorize that, though, I'd probably say psychedelic doom metal.
That's exactly what we call it.
Oh, that's good.
That was a shot in the dark, John. Damn.
That's what I would go for. Just so people would understand what I'm fucking talking about,
Yeah.
No, that's cool. So you're gonna be playing guitar for them.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
You said you guys are getting ready to go on tour?
Well, they've been talking about doing something like that, like next month. I thought there was a little more going on, but there's really nothing booked past our Sacramento show, July 22nd at On the Y.
Oh, okay.
So, but there's things in the works for a tour of some kind in the next couple months.
Nice. Now I gotta say this because Dorian and I have been doing this, this podcast thing for so long now. We are like old veterans. Anyway, yeah, right. No, but I'm gonna get contacted with. I didn't want to. I mean, the song was cool. It kicked ass, but I want to hear him doing something. He plays guitar. I want to hear it. So, did you have anything else that we could play right now that they would be able to hear you?
In terms of I sent you guys a few MP3s.
Yeah, I got Phantasm and.
Do you have a preference on what we
Summoning Vengeance?
Oh yeah, you can play the Grave Coven, Summoning Vengeance. That's actually me and my buddy James from Swamp Witch. He's the vocalist of Swamp Witch and the vocalist of Grave Coven. But I do all of the instruments. I do the drums, the bass, and the guitar. And
Nice.
Oh wow! Yeah, see now that's what people are gonna be like. Shit, yeah. All right, so let's play that. This is called Summoning Vengeance from. Say that again. Grave Coven. That's what I said.
Very cool, man.
Yeah, dude. That
Thank you.
that's
metal.
Yeah, that is the Phillip Gallagher that we've all come to know and love.
In the last
Yeah.
half hour.
That's right. I gotta ask you this, man. I mean, that's fucking just killer. I love when it started getting going too. It was like I was driving a tank. I was like, yes. But I gotta ask you this because we've had other musicians on that have done all kinds of stuff, and one of them said that they masturbate before they play so that it sounds better, and someone said that they don't masturbate before they play so they get angrier. What do you do? Which one?
I tend to not. I prefer to not do anything like that.
So that's the route you go down. All right. Yeah.
Pent up aggression.
Long years, in fact. I'm married, so I don't.
Yeah.
Wait, yeah, right.
Wait a minute. Yeah.
I'm married, so I do it twice as much.
That's funny, dude. Nobody really said that before. I was kidding.
Yeah, me too.
So you played all the instruments on that song?
I did. Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. You're like a satanic Paul McCartney.
I didn't
Yeah.
thought it that way.
With a beard.
He may be ivory, but his soul is ebony.
Oh shit. So what do you do? What do you do for fun, Phil? May I call you Phil?
Yeah, that's fine.
Great.
Let's see. I typically just hang out at my house. You know, that's what I do for fun. I don't really like to go out a lot. I play music for fun, so I play music at my house all the time. That's pretty much what I do.
Nice.
Yeah.
Got any kids?
No kids. Nope.
Oh. And you're married, right?
Yep.
So does your wife know that you are a Satanist?
She does. Yeah.
I hope so.
Well, yeah. I mean, who knows? Is she a Satanist herself, or just?
You know, she's not, but she has expressed interest in possibly joining the Church of Satan. But I don't try to change anybody's mind or make anybody do anything. So it's all up to them. You know.
I call that satanic tendencies.
So tell us about how you discovered it.
Well, I was probably maybe 14 or 15, and I think we watched the Satanist film at a friend's house. And at the time, I ended up like buying the Satanic Bible, and I thought it was pretty interesting stuff, and I liked it instantly. And it seemed more like something that was not around anymore. This was before the internet. There was no internet then. I was a kid. I had no idea. It just seemed like something that was really cool that I would, that I agreed with, at a very young age. But it seemed like, that was something from the past, something that happened in the 60s and 70s or whatever. So I didn't even know that there was actually, there was an actual Church of Satan still, so.
Yeah.
And then I went into my 20s and actually ended up exploring the world of Islam and was a Muslim for quite a few years.
Really?
Yeah. And
I'm looking at your
That's
picture,
the first time
and
we've
I
never
can
heard.
totally see you I could see you putting a turban on if I'm looking at your picture here.
yeah, no, I actually never wore turban. No, I never did.
No, that's really interesting. I mean, most you hear the cliche. I would call it cliche at this point. The Christian Catholic type of thing coming into Satanism.
Yeah.
And
Usually, yeah.
you're
That's
our
the
first.
Yeah, it was kind of like at the time, growing up all through high school, I was shuffled around quite a bit, and some of some friends of mine from school that were they were Muslim, and their family helped me out quite a bit as a child.
I'm sure.
So it made sense at the time.
Right.
But the whole experience that I had with that was really negative. So,
I think we're all having that experience. But so you never felt bad for, giving up 72 virgins?
Oh man, I mean, I guess there's all sorts of stuff like that.
Found out they were nerdy guys, and he said, "Fuck this, I'm out of here."
But so yeah, I did that for maybe 7 to 8 years, and didn't have a good experience with it. And I decided, hey, I don't like this anymore. I don't want to do this. So I stopped doing it, and I actually ended up buying a copy of the Satanic Scriptures, which at the time, leaving something like that can have you can experience like guilt and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And
sure. Yeah.
So after I read the Satanic Scriptures, I just was like really inspired by it, to fucking leave everything in the past, and just do something else with my life.
Ever forward.
Do the shit that I actually wanted to fucking do,
Right on.
Well, assalamu alaikum.
Yeah.
What about your family? Like, were they was that their religion or your family's religion, or?
No. I knew some friends of mine from school, like my best friend all throughout high school. His family was Muslim. So I eventually, like I said, I was shuffled around quite a bit as a kid. I lived with one set of grandparents and another. Sometimes
Gotcha.
I was homeless. So,
Damn.
Yeah. This family kind of took me in for, a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
So certainly, yeah, that's going to have an influence on you then.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
A lot of people will find a God, so to speak, when they're at the lowest points in their lives, prison, getting shuffled around and things like that. And it's always, the end of that road is always Jesus or Allah and all that. So, I think it's the norm,
Yeah, I mean, I just, to me, like all the organized, religion stuff with Christianity and with Islam is like, just intended to induce guilt,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how they enslave your mind.
Right. What about?
But of course, they also welcome you in because that way their numbers are larger. You feel like you're part of something, and then their story doesn't seem so crazy when they've got enough people agreeing with it.
Well, and the thing too is like, I was more involved with like Sufism, not so much just like Orthodox Islam.
Wait, what?
What's the difference?
Well, Sufism is more of like this mystical, unorthodox area that is not accepted by mainstream Islam typically. Yeah. So, and they do a little more.
So it's like the Mormons to Christians kind of thing?
I mean, not really. No. I wouldn't say that. It's more like Rosicrucianism to Christianism.
Ah.
To Christian.
Oh, that old thing.
Gotcha. That old chestnut. Yeah. So it's like more like a mysticism thing. It's like the Kabbalah stuff
Exactly.
to Jews. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Exactly. Like specifically, it was. I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Naqshbandis, but I was. part of that.
Friends of mine.
Yeah. No, but. That
The old
was
Naqshbandis.
Yeah. So. But that's where, I was studying with these Naqshbandi guys. There was basically this Turkish Sufi order. And there's this.
Go ahead, man. You let it out.
I don't know. Let me see. I'm just kind of stumbling here. Hold on. We could probably edit this little chunk out, I guess.
It's too beautiful.
No,
Tell us more about the botched Nazis.
What's it called?
Well, I mean, there's not much to say, man. It's just all a bunch of fucking garbage, really.
Yeah.
There's really not much to say about it. Like,
did you ever catch your friends trying to fuck a goat?
Nothing like that. No. Nothing
Oh,
like
that's good. Whew.
that. Yeah. So
They don't do that in this country. You got to go to other countries for that to happen.
Oh.
Well, no, I take that back. I have been to Tennessee recently, so.
Nice. Well, dude, I mean,
Yeah.
it sounds almost like a touchy subject a little bit, you know, like
well, it probably is. I'm just
yeah.
you know, I mean, so anyway, I mean, I guess at that point it was like I just was done with all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah. Did you? I mean, it almost sounds like you had a bad experience. Did something? Did they put like a suicide vest on you? What happened, man? So you could tell us.
Oh,
This is the place to tell us.
No, it's just like, I mean, nothing like that at all. No. It was just, I just had a bad experience. You know, it was like that religious nature of people, I think, is to be very guilt trippy and to be very controlling. And I just don't like the nature of that shit at all, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
We
can relate.
So yeah, I mean, you know, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
So
Did they did they grow beards or anything? I don't know where I'm going with all this stuff, but I'm just trying to.
yeah, no, I mean, I guess, I mean, some people do.
Did they all grow beards? Are they lumberjacks?
Why do they all have beards now? Isn't it like a part of the religion to grow a beard?
Doesn't everybody have beard? I have a beard. You have a beard. Or you
Well,
did it.
Yeah, I do.
It, it can be. It can be, depending. I mean, there's just...
So were you ever like making out with a Muslim chick and you lift up her burqa and it's really a dude? I mean, anything like that ever happen?
No, nothing like that.
So they try to trick you.
Is that like a transvestite version of the?
Yeah.
Wait, did they even say transvestite or anymore? Is it just transgender?
Who knows?
Transgender.
Another
I don't
example
know.
of subcategorizations.
We're way off track here.
Yeah. So did you ever, out of spite, draw a crazy depiction of Muhammad?
Nothing like that, no. I never did.
Well, let us know if you do, because we'd like to see that.
All right.
But no, it's just, I mean, like I said before, it's just, that's the strangest thing because that's the first time that we've heard.
Well, yeah, we've had talked to plenty of people, including myself, people who've come from Christian backgrounds. So this is a first, definitely.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I
you
imagine.
did put on your bio. I'm kind of blown away that I didn't even know that about you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something I normally tell anybody,
Yeah, probably not nowadays. It's probably not great to tell people anyway.
It's almost worse than telling
Because you
somebody
got assholes like us that go, "You ever fucking goat?"
But we're just being jackasses, for the show. But
Yeah,
sincerely,
no, I get
we But it's almost worse than telling somebody that you're a Satanist at this point. I guess, which is great for Satanism because you could say you're a Satanist, and whether they get it or not, it's more accepting than saying to someone, "I'm a Muslim," because that's like, whoa,
Yeah, it is to some people, definitely.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying to some people.
Yeah, I mean, it's a strange thing, I guess. I mean, for a lot of people, yeah.
All right, well, let's get off that subject then. So, how old were you when you said to yourself, "Hey, I'm a Satanist. This is me. I realize that I was born this, and this is who I am."
Well, that was probably, like I said, after I read the Satanic scriptures. I mean, I read it and I just said, this is exactly what,
describes me. Yeah.
Well, what describes me, and I agree with this, and it kind of, like I said, it kind of helped me to get over like guilt and,
Mm-hmm. Guilt is a cancer, man.
No, I know. Yeah.
So, congratulations on being cancer free.
Yeah, typically, I mean, this is really the first time I've ever even talked about it at all with anybody, to be honest. I mean, aside from maybe my wife a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
And this experience is not going well.
That's awesome. Nah, that's awesome. Well, Phil, we ask this of all our guests, man. What does Satan mean to you?
just fucking rebellion against mindfuck bullshit, you know?
Short and sweet, man. That's how I love it. That's great.
Where can people find your music? Obviously, like, we know that you're going to be on future recordings with Swamp Witch, which you can find on Spotify and iTunes. But what about any other stuff of yours?
Well, let's see. My other band, Bog Oak, has a Bandcamp page. It's just, I think it's officialbogoak.bandcamp.com.
Okay.
And my band Wandering is we're still working on material. We do have one song completed, but we're trying to finish 4. It's hard to say when that's going to be completed because most of the members of Wandering are in Swamp Witch. So we're going to be focusing on that for a little while. And then hopefully by, I would say, November, December, maybe releasing something from Wandering.
Nice.
All right. Right on, man.
Very cool.
Cool.
Well, you are now a devil we know, Phil, and we want to thank you for coming on, man. It's been a pleasure listening and talking with you.
Right on, man.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me on. It's been interesting.
All right, make sure you go and listen to more than one episode now. You know, like catch them, start from 1.
No, I definitely will.
All right, till next time, everyone. Hail Satan.
Hail Satan.